So, welcome back to the campaign. For anyone new, I play games for the storytelling and challenge, which generally means taking my time, trying to stay thematic, and avoiding exploits. If you prefer min-maxing or speeding through content, then my stuff may not be for you, although you're welcome to join us for a while to find out. In Total War Warhammer, that means using some mods to make the campaigns and battles slower and harder to try to fit the brutal world of Warhammer, and also fighting all but the most lopsided battles manually. There's a link in the description to the video where I go over all the mods we're using and why. For this campaign, we are playing as Kugoth Plaguefather, the Fetid Brewmaster, setting out to spread across the world not for the sake of conquering it, but in search of the perfect plague. For some reason, humans and dwarves and lizards and everyone else don't seem to want to embrace Grandfather Nurgle's toxic love and are fighting back, which is an annoyance to Kugoth and will just have to use more forceful methods, like destroying their armies, conquering their cities, and spreading our corruption to every province we can reach. So far, we've eliminated the lizardmen of the Dragon Isles and united this first province, so now it's time for the much bigger challenge of taking on Helman Gorst and his endless zombie hordes. So we know what our objective is. The question is how best to go about doing that. And I gotta be honest with you, my main concern with Helman Gorst is his Mortis engine, and then I think the man himself also has a Mortis engine effect, and that is going to absolutely wreak havoc on our Nurglings. So we really, at all costs, are going to have to take down the Mortis engine with everything else that we've got, basically, other than the Nurglings, before it can get to the front line and just melt our Nurglings. But we're not even at war with them just yet, so we have a little bit of time to prepare and think about a strategy for doing that. So, meanwhile here, we have 4,000 spare gold. Shattered Stone Bay is already tier 2. The garrison's getting healed up a little bit. I don't think there's really much for us to do. There's nothing that we can do to really beef up the garrison here. It's just basically purely predicated on the tier of the settlement building itself. Now, the garrison mod, the bigger garrison mod, does give better garrisons to Nurgle settlements. I think it looks actually to me like this is a significantly stronger garrison than vanilla, so that's going to help us out a little bit. If it comes down to the defense, but obviously what we'd like to do is break out of being bottled up down here, so we want to go on the offensive if that is at all possible. Now, what we do want to do, I think one really key factor for us is once Nurgle starts getting some resource buildings, we do get a nice advantage over lots of other factions with the number of heroes that we can produce. So we do want to take advantage of that. We get one of these resources right here in Shattered Stone Bay, and there's another one down here in, click on it to get there, down here, yes, right there, medicinal plants and Dragon Fang Mount. So when we get this up to tier 3, we'll be able to get another resource building up, which is going to give us a total of an additional +2 heroes of each type, I think. Okay, now, having said all of that, we're actually not in desperate need of replenishment here. We're in no danger of having our cities threatened right now, so let's just get back up here as quickly as possible. We could go in the water. It's probably faster if we go in the water, so let's do that. We still replenish in the water, which is really nice. You'll notice this time I've learned my lesson about going march stance in the water. Full speed. So, not really anything to do from a settlement perspective other than wait for some additional population. As somebody pointed out in the Nurgle is better than you think video that I did, another disadvantage of Nurgle is that we actually have to wait until population surplus of 3 to be able to advance to the 3rd level of all of our settlements, which It's yet another obstacle in the way of Nurgle, but it doesn't matter because Nurgle is awesome and we shall overcome all obstacles. We do, of course, have access to more plagues here. Somebody did point out, and I happen to agree with them, that it's a little bit of an exploit to be passing plagues back and forth between two different armies multiple times in one turn. So I think moving forward, I will make it a rule that even though historically plagues did pass between armies, we're just going to restrict it to once per plague rather than back and forth to get a whole bunch of different spreads of a plague whenever we do that. So anyway, just a couple of thoughts, random thoughts off the top of the head. Let's go ahead and think about dropping a new plague onto Shattered Stone Bay. Now, up here, I just want to point out, the plagues don't spread between these islands, which is obviously nonsensical, but it is what it is. However, up here, a plague that we start here, I believe, will start to spread to Scrap Towers, and then from there beyond. So it's worth dropping a plague up here. And we might want to do growth, but we also really would like to do... We want to get mucus runs here. I'm sorry, the crumbling ague, which means unlocking mucus runs, which means we need 50 spreads of the ague. We're currently on 0. So that's obviously going to be a priority as well. Probably more of a priority even than... Now, you know what I want to do? I want to get the pox up to 5, and then we won't have to worry about this ever again, because it's not really any urgency at all to unlock these additional symptoms down here. So let's do that. Let's infect Shattered Stone Bay with pox, give ourselves a little bit of extra growth, and in the short term that's kind of important to us. In the long term it'll be less of a big deal. And check our diplomacy. I really don't think there's going to be a whole lot we can do. There is not. So let's go ahead and see whether or not Helman Gorst is ready to declare war on us. Of course, the ogres are also going to declare war as soon as they meet us. Pretty much, in my experience, the only faction that doesn't declare war on Nurgle is the Skaven. And that's probably because they're busy getting the crap beat out of them by Helman Gorst anyway. Okay, so another turn of reprieve from Helman Gorst. That's good. Develop a cyclical building through its full life cycle. That is a nice and easy one for us to accomplish. Clan Rictus and what's his name? Emmerich, declaring war. Gardener's World, so we're getting -1 for infrastructure buildings. That's always good. And capture many provinces. That's just the standard stuff. So let's go ahead and get Kugath up here. Now, ooh, I kind of... No, we're not. There we go. We're going to go full speed. With full speed, we can get into the settlement. Okay, so now, next thing we want to think about is whether we need to recruit some new units into this army. Again, we want to make this a thematic army, which means more Nurglings, but also we want to be able to defeat the Mortis Engine and Helman Gorst when it's time for war with them. So more Nurglings don't do us any good right now. So what we're going to do is consider when is the opportune time to recruit another lord. It might be now. The other lord we will be recruiting maybe some better units into. We could also spend our money on improving the landmark structure here, which is a good one to have, but the next tier of it is a plus 200 per turn in terms of gold, but 20 turns for that to pay for itself. May not be the highest priority for us right now. It is the only thing we could upgrade this turn, but we will want to be doing this next turn, 3,000. So we want to have enough, no, yeah, we want to have enough gold to be able to upgrade this and or get another infrastructure building going in Dread Rock next turn. And if we do this turn, we're not going to have enough to do that. So we're not going to do this improvement this turn. Now we're also not going to recruit another lord this turn for the same reason. So I don't want to delay too long. I would preferably like to go to war with Ghorst at a time of our choosing rather than his, but I have a feeling that's just not going to be possible. We don't want to declare war on him right now because we're not ready for him. And he's probably up here finishing off the Skaven, is my guess. Alright, let's really quickly just check the diplomacy. Nothing to do. Okay, let's go ahead and give ourselves one more turn and cross our fingers. Alright, so we have Tumorous Squirt. Love that name. Casualty replenishment right. Improved for Nurglings. I will not say no to that. And we now have Imric at war with the Chaos Dwarves. And I haven't played with the Chaos Dwarves very much, so I actually don't know which one is which. I guess we can find out. The Legion of Asgarth. Who are you? Are you... Oh, I haven't actually met you yet, so never mind. And while I'm here, let me just double check this. Nothing, okay. Alright, nothing really going on. I hate to be wasting time here, but we do want to get ourselves in. I have a feeling growth is going to be the #1 priority for the time being. The other thing about the growth building is that it provides us just as much income as any of the other infrastructure buildings. We're not desperately worried about public order right now. We will eventually want to build probably a single public order cyclical building in one of these settlements after we're no longer having Kugath's army in the province, but there's no urgency for that. And this was foolish of me to save 3,000 gold for the next tier of the port, because I can't build it yet, of course. I'm not tier 3 yet. In fact, it'll be 4 more turns before I am. So maybe now we build this, or maybe now we go ahead and, you know what, yeah, we need to improve our military situation. I constantly have to remind myself that our settlements are here to support our armies, not the other way around. So, I like the Nurgle School of Magic more than the Death, so we'll look at that first. The Scaled Skin is not bad. The cooldown of -5% is not bad. The Herald of Nurgle here, now a demonic army, demonic lord is going to have thematically a demonic army, and a Chaos Sorcerer Lord is thematically going to have a human worshipper army. And in terms of what we can recruit, let's just look at this again real quick. In terms of what we can recruit, our best bet right now is going to be what has the best melee attack. It looks like the Plague Bearers of Nurgle, or the Plague Toads of Nurgle, or even the Chaos Warhounds. So Chaos Warhounds are not demonic, are they? They are not considered demonic. So Chaos Warhounds would go into a human, let's call it a mortal army versus a demonic army. So that's a possibility, and I actually think that that's a strong a strong possibility because, yeah, let's do that, because Chaos Warhounds can get around behind his army and attack his Mortis engine before it gets to us, to our front lines, I should say. So let's do that. This is the sort of thematic choices that I'm making that I know are kind of sometimes suboptimal, but it's sort of the way I prefer to play, to just, you know, to kind of not do everything from a pure meta perspective, but from a thematic perspective. So let's do Scaled Skin here. I like that. Missile resistance is obviously always very good for a character unit. Let's recruit him. And let's go ahead and transfer. Do we have anything to transfer over to him, or is literally everything we've got is demonic? Everything we've got is demonic. So they're all staying in Kugath's army for now. So now Grog is going to start recruiting Chaos Warhounds. Now I need to look real quickly to see where do I get more Chaos Warhounds. What military building do I need for Chaos Warhounds? Right here? There they are. Okay, so we need demonic egg sacs. So that's going to be a little bit of an issue because we can only get 2 of them until we build that military building. Well, the 2 of them we shall get. And then we're also going to get 2 of our... Oh, we can only afford 1 Marauders. Alright, we're not going to get any Marauders just yet because we don't want to completely... Oops. Blue. Yes, we do want to get the Warhounds. Give them an opportunity to start replenishing. And we're down to 746 right now. That will go up when... a tiny little bit when this is ready next turn, but it'll go up more when this gets built. And it'll go up a little bit more as our already built infrastructure buildings start to go through the upper tiers of the cycle. So we're going to kind of start seeing our gold fluctuate up and down. That's fine. Then the Garrison Lord not moved. Yes, we know that. The research available. Let's go ahead and get... See, this is the kind of thing where the tech tree has not made the migration to the Dragon Isles with Kugath, because the tech tree is still very much up in the Chaos Wasteland. Doesn't do us any good to be good at fighting Tzeentch right now, so we'll go with the Fetid Corpses, maybe, or Fecundity. That's not a bad one. In fact, that one is faster, so let's do that. Let's do Fecundity. And we have 53. Yeah, let's go ahead. We said we were going to allow 1 spread of plague back and forth per turn. So let's do this. Let's infect Kugath. Let's go ahead and have Kugath pass over this plague-ridden here. Boom. Okay, so pass a little bit of plague there between the armies, which is always good. And then we're going to go ahead and send Oedipus up here to keep an eye on good old Helman Gorst here. And we just discovered one of the ogre clans, so it's a little curious whether or not they will declare war on us, but let's find out who, if anyone, they are at war with already. Yeah, they're at war with some undiscovered factions. Thunderguts, same. And Helman Gorst is at war with the Skaven, as well as Greasus. Interesting. I did not think that that Greasus and Helman Gorst normally went to war with each other, but what do I know? Alright, let's go ahead and advance. I'm keeping him, by the way, in our own territory because he does provide a very modest public order benefit. Let's go ahead and advance one more turn. It could be that Helman Gorst will not declare war on us while he is at war with the Skaven and or Greasus. We're not going to wait too terribly long to declare war on him, but I don't want to do it while my Chaos Warhounds are so badly depleted. Okay, another turn. Faction destroyed. There we go. Alright. So I have the feeling now, Cult Manifests actually. Now it tells us, gives us an objective of recruiting the Extra Lord. Thanks a lot, game. Just a little bit slow there. Okay, right here we want to take a look at this. We do want to go ahead and get ourselves... I think probably just the baseline of 5 infections per turn is the safest. You get more per turn, plus you get some income if there are certain conditions that are met, but those conditions are dubious at best. Let me just... Can I see what his... I really can't. I don't have any way of knowing what his growth per turn is. Oh, no. Well, yeah. I guess that's probably only for a province that I own. Although that wouldn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense. I don't know. I don't know. Let's go ahead and give him the regular one right there. And, how are we looking now on our plagues? Okay, so we now have all of the spreads of the pox that we really care about. We need pestilence. That's the next one, I think, to unlock. So we'll do that one next. I'm not sure we'll do it this turn, however. Yeah, we'll do pestilence next, and then we'll just focus everything at that point on... Actually, I should say we'll do buboes next, and then we'll focus everything on ague. Okay, alright. And I think we almost might even want to switch up here. Let's go ahead and pull Kugath out of the settlement. Let's go ahead and get Grog into the settlements for the extra replenishment. And doesn't impact our public order too terribly much. Let's go ahead. Okay, he's got an army here now. Kugath, it's really going to be, I think ambushing is going to be a major part of our strategies with Kugath. So let's go ahead and get him in the process. It's just sort of the habit of being in ambush stance, 70%. It's not nothing. And we just, how much, it's going to take a while for him to get fully replenished. Okay, here we go. Now we have the chance to recruit some more heroes. So 600 for each of them, but they do unfortunately have upkeep of 260, which is really, really significant. However, these exalted heroes are wonderful. When they get up to about, I want to say level 5, level 6, somewhere around there, they can start to have, they can get a skill that will start to reduce the armor value of all the enemies in the province, so that's a really big deal. This Unholy Strike is not something great, quite frankly. That's the kind of thing that I would give to an agent that I'm planning to use as a field agent more than as an army agent. But the Iron Skin one is definitely better. Let's do that. We could afford 2. I'm going to go ahead and take 1 with the Iron Skin, and let's see if next turn we can get a better... I don't know how many turns it takes to replenish this pool of heroes, but we want to get a better one than Unholy Strike, if possible. Okay, and let's just really quickly see if there's anything to give him. We could give him physical resistance, but quite frankly, I think we want Kugath to probably have that. That's better than spell resistance as far as I'm concerned. Let's give Oedipus the spell resistance. And nothing to do from an ancillary's point of view. Okay. Alright, and factions encountered. Yeah, we already know that. That's because of our new cult. Okay, alright. So you don't move. We need you to replenish. You, I can't really afford to be upgrading you right now. You know what I could do, actually? I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to use my unholy manifestations on him, because I almost never have opportunities to use it. So now he's locked into place for 2 turns. That's why I normally never use it, because it's a real drag to not be able to move at all. But he's where we want him to be until we can get him completely replenished anyway. Let's go ahead and get let's get eyes a little bit further in. Okay, that's as much movement. Now I can move a little bit further here. I just want to make sure that there's enough to get him back into our territory. Okay, now we got Greasus up there. We can see Greasus. It's probably actually more important to see what Greasus does than it is to get Oedipus all the way back down to our territory. So I'm going to go ahead and move him up to here. Okay, this is what I figured we were going to find out. Ghorst and his absolutely ubiquitous horde of zombies. These are probably almost entirely filled with zombies. All 3 stacks are all up there, which is you know, it is what it is. It's a concern if they decide to all come down together to attack us. However, let's see what they decide to do vis-a-vis Greasus. And in the meantime, there's really nothing for us to do except watch and wait. And so let's do that. Okay, Greasus, what are you doing there? You're raiding? Okay, I approve of that. If Helman Gorst and Greasus go at each other up there, what's he doing? Okay, so this is an example of how the slower campaign movement is affecting the AI factions as well, because it looks to me like maybe they just couldn't reach each other. Like they may have gone to war with each other. Okay, this is not what we need. We don't need to be going to war with absolutely everybody at the same time. I'm not going to declare war on Ghorst if I have to fight an ogre invasion at the same time. Okay, stuff with maggots is just Nurgle corruption, so there's no reason to not take the bonus magic item here. Unlock 10 symptoms. It'll be a while before we have that. Okay, so we got fecundity done. That's good. Unlock 10 plague symptoms. War declared between Thunderguts and us, of course. Got the cult manifested up there. Okay, and we are still in ambush stance, and I think in ambush stance we shall stay for the time being. Do we want to move closer? Yes, we do. I want to move up to the border. We're still at 70%. That works for me. Oedipus can probably move a little bit back in our direction, but still be able to see what's going on up there, which is important. Because this would be wonderful if there's a great big battle here. I also, quite frankly, would not mind it if Thunderguts comes down here and tries to invade us, because fighting enemy armies in our territory is a far better strategic situation for us than trying to invade their territory. And right now they are stronger than us, so that's a concern. They have one other enemy, which is one of the Chaos Dwarf factions. I think I forgot to check my diplomacy last turn, but that's not a big deal since there's almost always nothing for us to do there. Okay, so here we want to get this hero in with Nurgle. And what about another one? Can we recruit another... Oops, not a lord. A hero. Can we recruit an... Yes, we can. Okay. I'm sorry, opened eyes. That's not great. Honestly, I might actually go Unholy Strike. I mean, don't get me wrong, opened eyes is nice to be able to level faster, but I have a feeling our heroes are going to level plenty fast anyway. But we're not going to get another one offered to us until we get one of these. So let's go ahead and... Yeah, okay. I'll try it. Maybe I should give it a chance. Open Eyes. Thestergax Magath. And that's all of the hero recruitment we're going to be able to do for a while until our economy improves. We're all the way down to 200 gold per turn, which is absolutely anemic. Plague Sight is good. Fetid Corpses is decent. I'm going to go with Plague Sight. I like having line of sight as much as possible. Alright, you know what I could do is I could actually... I can't do it this turn, I don't think. Yeah, this would end all of his movement points. But next turn I could think about raiding scrap towers. Don't know how much money we'd get out of it, but every little bit of money at this point would really help us out. And I still have one more turn left. No, 2 more turns left of the pox. I'm gonna wait for my my infections to get up a little bit more. And looks like I don't want to ramble on too much about plagues is actually what I should say. Okay, so let's go ahead and I think the only real thing for us to do is to find out what's going on between these big boys up here. Okay, Greasus, attack him. Nice. Okay. Now attack Ghorst himself. Actually, either Ghorst retreated or Ghorst was destroyed in that fight. And based on the amount of damage that Greasus' army took, I think Ghorst was in that fight. Double check that here. But that could be very good. I'm going to check the relative faction strength, and if Ghorst is really beat up, then heck, we'll declare war on him and take scrap towers. Or at least sack it. And if Ghorst was destroyed, I mean, I might be getting ahead of myself here, but if Ghorst was destroyed, then that means his Mortis engine went with him. And that would be really, really nice. Okay, Ruin's End. That's down there. It's going to be a little while before we're raiding that. War declared between a couple of the different ogre tribes. Okay, let's cross our fingers here. Let's take a look at how beat up here Greasus is. He's level 7. He's going to declare war on us probably as well, but he's pretty dinged up here. I think he and Ghorst fought a nice big battle, which is perfect. So Greasus is stronger than us, of course. And, alright, interesting. Ghorst still has plenty of strength, but they're not stronger than we are, which makes me think that Ghorst's stack probably got destroyed. So they have a couple other zombie stacks floating around somewhere. So now the question is, can we reach scrap towers? We can. Let's talk to Helman Gorst. I'm sorry, no, let's talk to Greasus. And let's say, hey, Greasus, would you be willing to give us some money in exchange for declaring war on Helman Gorst? And the answer is you would give us 838. Every penny is valuable to us right now. So we're going to take that. And is that enough for us to actually improve our relationship somewhat with Greasus? No, still plummeting. He likes the fact that we're at war with the Caravan of Blue Roses, but hates the fact that we're at war with the Thunderguts, so that makes sense. So it's still just going to be a matter of time before Greasus declares war on us. That amount of time might even be next turn, which might mean it would be really stupid for us to take and hold scrap towers. So what we might do here is sack it. Let's see how much money we get for sacking it. But first, we want to get Oedipus into our army. And can you move yet? I think you can. Yes, you can, but you cannot move far enough to be close enough to us to get involved in this fight. So that's unfortunate. And you can, but yeah, let's do it. I was gonna say that might mean that we can't retreat all the way back into our own territory afterward, but we're gonna risk it. Might be a terrible idea, but we'll see what happens here. Let's go ahead and attack. I don't think that's going to be a settlement battle. No, it's just a field battle. Okay, good. Just now realized this is our first battle of this episode. So apologies to everybody who only likes the battles. It is obviously the most action-packed part of the campaign, but hopefully the strategy, the discussing of the strategy is interesting as well. That is, after all, what the Total War games are so good at, is the combination of strategy and tactics. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at his... I should have looked at this before. I'm assuming these are all weak units. They are, okay. There's nothing for us to fear here, so let's go ahead and just get our really sophisticated formation known as the Blob. Everybody is close to Kugath in the middle as possible, because he'll give some buffs. Let's get our Exalted Heroes on the sides. Let's get our Plague Bearer kind of in back there a little bit. We'll go ahead and get our Beast of Nurgle on one flank. Are you guys hidden there? Yes, you are. We'll keep them hidden so that they can hit the flanks, and let's go ahead and start the battle. Move forward here. Actually, that's kind of dumb of me. We don't really need to move forward because they'll come to us because of Kugath. Now here is the question about what to do with these guys, and are his bats going to just attack our flying unit, our plague drones? Let's go ahead and get Kugath. What are his toughest to kill units? Maybe those skeleton warriors there. Oops. Yes, they are going... his bats are just going to attack our plague drones. We should make short work of his bats, I think. Are these spearmen? They are. That's unfortunate. Those dire wolves, however, Got no problem at all sending my Beast of Nurgle against his dire wolves, along with that exalted plague bearer as well. And you know what? No use for the rancid visitations, so let's go ahead and use some of our other spells. Let's go ahead and get some Nurglings summoned while we're at it. No reason not to. Go ahead and have them attack. Who are these guys? What are we fighting up here? Just bats. Okay. Kugath, you go ahead and just keep firing at them. Let's go ahead and get a nice blast of corruption, stream of corruption on them. Okay. Looks like the bats are all taken care of. The dire wolves are all taken care of. Let's go ahead and get all of our heroes involved in the fighting. Well, I guess when I said the dire wolves are taken care of, they were crumbling, but not completely eliminated yet. Okay, let's go ahead and get another stream of corruption. I think at this point I'm going to have Kugath turn off of his auto fire because I could easily end up doing more damage with friendly fire. I think it's safe for me to speed this up a little bit, and let's go ahead and get another stream of corruption going. You guys just keep hitting them. Cast another Nurgling spell here. Alright. Ooh! Necrotic oh, that's the... Yeah, I don't want to do the Necrotic Explosion because I'll end up doing more friendly fire damage than it's worth. Alright, I think we could speed it up to the maximum speed and just let things play out at this point. There's really not... Oh, I forgot my toads! Get in there, froggies. Okay. Pretty quick battle, made short work of them. We lost a whopping total of 15 models, and I believe those are all going to be Nurglings, which is absolutely nothing that we care about. And so the question really becomes, do we want to sack or occupy? And I think we probably want to sack, because if we do occupy... Well, you know what? Let me think about this for a second, because quite frankly, we might be strong enough already to take on Greasus' army if he does attack us. That's what I'm worried about, is that Greasus will attack us this turn. But we took no casualties worth worrying about. So we're pretty much at full strength. If we sack, we get 1,300. I think we are going to... We're going to sack. And we're going to see what exactly Greasus decides to do. Now, here's the question. Can we get back into our own territory? Not quite. We could go into channeling stance. He could attack us with his own army. He could probably use march stance and also reinforce with that army. Let me go ahead and get my skill ups here. We want to... Do we want Bloated Corpse? bloated carcass? I think we do. He's definitely very vulnerable to ranged attacks. Okay, so we want to get our beef up our exalted heroes a bit. I think we want to focus on magic with our plague-ridden Blade Master here. He's got a Sword of Might. Let's go ahead and give the Sword of Might to Mintash the Black here, since his only real use is in melee. Okay, alright. Now, let's take a look at this army. That army is not really one that I fear should he attack us, so I'm not going to run away from him as far as possible. I'm going to stay in channeling stance and risk him attacking us. He might also attack scrap towers. If he does, well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Wait and see. Okay. Let's go ahead now and... Do we still have the plague going on down here? We do. So we're still getting 25 growth down there for whatever that's worth. We have one more turn, and we only need 4,000. So if we can fight another battle next turn, we got a really good chance at having enough money to be able to upgrade Dreadrock. Let's hope so. Alright, let's see what happens. Okay, he's not declaring war on us. And he's taking scrap towers. What this means... Oh, and he took Pig Barter as well. Very interesting. Suddenly, Ghorst is much less of a threat. And now Greasus might be the bigger threat. That's unexpected. And not entirely unwanted, because I feel, even though Nurgle does not thrive against large opponents, I don't feel as threatened about ogres as I do by that Mortis engine that Ghorst has. Oh, okay, so he didn't take Pig Barter, he confederated. Ooh, that's worrisome right there. That's, what's his name? Why am I drawing a blank what his name is? Anyway, the Warrior of Chaos leader. Legendary Lord. Okay, so we got, oh, I'm suffering attrition. Why am I suffering attrition? I wasn't... Oh, I guess the... It must have just gone up over the end turn. Well, that's a drag. Alright, so we could attack Greasus if we really wanted to. That might be a really stupid idea, but it's at least worth taking a look at his faction strength first. Yeah, he's too strong. Ghorst is, however,
what do you seek?
In much worse shape. And actually, since we no longer have the Thunder Guts, now, yeah, so we're not at war with Thunder Guts anymore, so he doesn't hate us quite as much, but he still doesn't like us, that's for sure. Let me really quickly make sure that there's nothing else to do here. So it could very well be that rather than going to war with Ghorst at a time of our own choosing, which we've already done, we're instead going to be going to war against Greasus at a time of our own choosing. I do feel like we probably could win this battle, but we would take a heck of a lot of damage from it, and I don't really know that there's much strategic value to fighting Greasus right now, other than for the money that we would get from winning the one battle. So instead, what we're going to do, we're going to move him back a little bit. we're going to go ahead and do what we said we would do, limit ourselves to one spread. Does it matter which of these we take? Let's take the buboes and get this out of the way first. Limit ourselves to one spread of buboes here. Move into our own territory. Let's go ahead and give Oedipus over to that army. Okay. We've spread that plague a little bit, and now we are going to put ourselves in ambush stance. So Grog here, we want him to be in, I guess it really doesn't matter what stance he's in. He's going to get all of his winds of magic up anyway. But still, that's fine. We'll go ahead and we'll put him in camp stance. Why not? So if Greasus does decide to declare war on us and come down and attack the bait here, the bait being Grog, that's fine. We'll ambush him. And if he doesn't, he'll probably abandon Scrap Towers, and we will maybe declare war on him and take that for ourselves at that point. So, in the meantime, we did not get up to 4,000 gold, so we can't upgrade Dreadrock yet, but we want to save our money for that. We already looked at diplomacy, I believe, so let's go ahead and give this another end turn. This might be our last end turn. We'll see how this goes. Actually, really quickly, do we want to change anything here? I think the control is still probably it's as good of an option as any. Okay. I think we'll find out right away whether or not Greasus is declaring war on us, and I think we have our answer. Okay. Is he going to come down and attack us? No, he is not. Unsurprising. Ambush foiled. He saw us. 70%. Razor Sack Pig Barter. Okay, we'll get there eventually. Okay. Anything to do? I think the thing to do... Does he automatically get the... I don't know whether this is automatically going to be a settlement battle if we were to attack him or not. Well, you know what? Things are different against the ogres as opposed to against Ghorst. And we could consider recruiting a couple of more Nurgling units. That's an option, although, again, our money situation is really not good. I think we want to continue. How far can he reach? He could reach far enough to attack us if he doesn't detect our ambush. So I think we want to continue to try to ambush him. He doesn't have a hero down here, so he shouldn't automatically detect us unless I'm missing something. So, meantime, we're going to improve Dreadrock. I think we have a strong enough army already. Okay. I want to give Oedipus back to Kugath here. I haven't actually decided whether this is an exploit if I were to do it spreading the plague again this way. So I'm gonna err on the side of caution. I just don't want to take advantage of any exploits. So we're gonna move the hero out and then into Kugath's army rather than having the two armies interact. I guess what I could have done, actually, now that I think about it, is I could have created a whole new plague to spread. But alrighty then, let's go ahead. I think we're at the outer limit of what he can reach with his movement. We do want him to be able to reach us to attack. So Actually, I can move Kugath to here. So he's just a little bit further away. And still be able to ambush him should Greasus decide to attack us, which we hope he does. We'll fight that battle really quickly in this episode if we can. The other Lord, we're not moving, and there's not really anything else for us to do, so let's just really quickly take a look at our 31 to 116 to 188. So Ghorst is not a strong concern to us right now. Greasus is now all of a sudden the priority for sure. Okay. All right, let's see what happens over this end turn. If he doesn't attack us, and he didn't. All right, well, the battle with Greasus is going to have to wait for the next episode, I'm afraid. Although, quite frankly, I wouldn't mind it if Greasus and Ghorst decide to fight each other again. That would certainly be of strategic advantage for us. Okay, Nurgle Ascendant. Not bad. Not really all that great for us right now. We have a mission now to invade Cathay, or Kislev, or the Empire. Well, you know what? That's not going to happen anytime soon. Really just not well thought through, this whole Kugath campaign. But for now, at least he didn't pull us out of ambush stance, so I feel like where we are is a decent place to be for if and when he does decide to come down and invade us. In the meantime, we're improving our own cities and kind of waiting to see what happens here in the ongoing war between Ghorst and Greasus. And what we'll do is we'll just have to try to take advantage of opportunities as they arise. But like I said, that's all going to have to wait for the next episode. Again, feel free to make any comments, strategic suggestions, or anything else that you might want to talk about. I always appreciate those. I do read them all. Thank you all for the ones of you who have already done so. And thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you in the next one.